A successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We love to help you win in any marketplace. That's what we do. We interview the best expert contributors in Tampa Bay. We've got a great lineup for you today. Captain Will Smith, aviation expert in studio. Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, as well as Clyde Smith, Bill Maher Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show coming up. Plus, feel-good story of the day. Got a UPS delivery man celebrate 70 years of delivering the mail. Our feel-good story of the day. 93-year-old man still working, getting out there hustling, not like a lot of these young snowflakes. Captain Will.
That's a long time delivering mail, man.
It is. 70 years in the biz, man. And that's awesome. We always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. 0 Southwind Drive in Hudson. Beautiful property. This is a blank slate. Build your dream home. Build your retirement dream home at 0 Southwind Drive in Hudson. This is a beautiful waterfront property, Gulf front property. You got the Gulf of Mexico there. Beautiful. Look at this view. You do have a conservation in the back, but direct Gulf frontage. You got a seawall. It's a 0.16 acre lot surrounded by $900,000 homes. Southwind Drive in Hudson. Beautiful, beautiful property. Great opportunity. One of our vacant land listings. You can buy some dirt from us as well at 9031 122nd Avenue. This is a $4 million listing at 9031 122nd Avenue in Tampa. This is a great opportunity, $3.9 million listing, and this is attention builders, developers, development opportunity in the Tampa area, close to USF. Temple Terrace area, 15.56 acres, site on Fowler. Great visibility from I-75. Sellers willing to break it up as well. Great opportunity. 9031 122nd Avenue. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Captain Will Smith in the house. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here again.
Yeah, man. Yep. Thanks for coming in. Talking a little bit about fuel prices earlier. I kind of walked in talking about that. What are you seeing in fuel prices, aviation gas? Crazy?
I see a circus is what I see.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're just we're putting our gas in the wrong hands to the wrong people. So the diesel fuel, Jet A and diesel, same thing. So people talk about what they burn in their jets. It's basically diesel fuel.
Is it really?
Yeah. There's not really much difference in there. There's a 28-day where they were talking about 28 days we're going to be on our reserves and all that stuff, which is probably most likely. The first people to get fuel is going to be the military. Mm-hmm. Second is going to be the airlines. Then it goes to trucking. Then it goes down to us little peons. So the further down the line you are, you're like last case scenario. People that are driving cars are probably going to be the last people to, if they have a combustible engine, are going to get the fuel. Well, this obviously goes right into what Biden wants to happen. However, with the jets, they are usually buying 90 to 120 days in advance, so they get major quantity, especially the airlines. Mm-hmm. The military is always first, the airlines second, and then everything trickles down from there. Likewise, it's taxes back to the government too. So they're going to make sure that the person that's spending the most fuel, which is the airlines, and paying the taxes on that, they get it first, and then the trucking industry. What really sucks about everything as we go into, diesel powers everything. So if you ran out of, this is just a scenario, if you ran out of diesel fuel, you wouldn't have any more jet travel. The airlines would go busted. Cruise ships, done. Any type of, even some of your trains done, even though it's a fresh burn, a clean burn, and then a lot of the like Amtrak and a lot of the cargo trains use it, they're done. Trucking, done. Well, what happens if you can't move product?
Yeah.
What happens if you can't get from one continent to the other?
Yeah.
Well, and what happens when we our dependency on all our products are from another continent, and now we can't get that product from that continent to our continent?
Yeah.
What happens?
Anarchy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly where we're driving this. All because we don't want to drill and pump our own fuel here and be energy independent.
Yeah.
So when I look at this, Brandon, I can't help to understand or even wrap my mind around how stupid these people are, how just oblivion they are to what's really going on. And this is not a bounce back. You know, if you dig a 3-foot hole, it's going to take you 6 feet to get out of it, you know, because you're stacking that dirt and making that hole deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I don't understand why. But I do know that the tides are changing now.
Yeah, you got a challenging time with the Biden economy, and you've got Marxists that are controlling that Democrat Party. So that's unfortunate. And the Great Reset is real. You know, the Great Reset is real. There's a lot of things happening throughout those realms. But yeah, there's a grassroots. What's going to save us is the grassroots. These are the grassroots people that are coming out right now, and they're showing up, and they're getting out there and fighting for freedom. And it was interesting. I was listening to a clip on Dennis Prager talking about communism. I want to play this quick clip just because I think it's so relevant.
I was one of 7 students at Columbia in that tiny department. I learned Russian in order to read the Soviet communist newspaper Pravda. To this day, I'm not sure I could say I would like a tuna sandwich. But I can say that the Israeli aggressors committed aggression against the peace-loving people of the Arab Middle East. That I can say in Russian, because I learned Pravda Russian. I would never have imagined that my learning how to read a Soviet newspaper would prepare me to read American newspapers.
And that's what he's talking about. He goes on to talk about the New York Times, how it's a lie. The very first thing it says is, all the news that's fit to print. Well, that's a lie. They don't print all the news that's fit to print.
Right.
They print their corporate, their media slander, basically Democrat favoring headlines every day.
I had a friend of mine that had a magazine company back in the mid '90s, and I asked him, I said, why do you want to invest in a magazine company? You're in real estate, you're successful in so many other ways. He says, well, you don't get it. If you own the media, you own the people.
Right. Control the media.
And now I'm thinking he was absolutely, and this is 1995.
Yeah.
He told me this, and he was absolutely right. You control the media, you control the people.
Yeah.
And it's true, and that's what's happening right now. And it's a shame, but it's the tides are turning, things are changing. And
the good news is that it used to be traditional, the big three, ABC, CBS, you hear the thing, and then you had your other channels, CNN, they say. But now you've got all these independent. You got Blaze TV with Glenn Beck. You got Epic Times. You've got of course Newsmax, OAN. Right on down the line, there's a lot of great sources. Dennis Prager University, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA. There's a lot more of us than there are of them, and it's starting to take over. And that's what you're starting to see.
It is. We found a cure to the disease, and that cure is truth.
Yeah.
In fact, and not something made up.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. It doesn't follow a political agenda. And I even tell people, I'm like, when you're voting, it has DEM or it has REP. I'm like, and if you look at that, it's who do you want to be represented by, or who you want to be demonized by?
Yeah.
Because that's what that DEM and REP really in today's world stands for.
Yeah.
You want to be demonized by the Democrats. You want to be represented and respected by the Republicans.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking with Captain Will Smith here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, longtime friend of the program. Will Smith, Aviation. What else are you seeing out there? Doing a lot of flying throughout the Southeast and beyond.
It's kind of funny that the private, even though gas prices are going up, the private sector they're still they can, it's a 100% guarantee. Nothing guaranteed in life, but unless something's wrong with the plane, that they're going to get to their destination. They're not going to lose their luggage. So that's still, I'm not sure where the money's coming from, but they're still steadfast in that. And they want, they don't want to go commercial. And I notice with this whole issue we're going to have with the diesel fuel and the shortage in that's going to roll over into commercial. Mm-hmm. I can guarantee you. Especially, they're saying, okay, this is Christmas. Everybody travels at Christmas. Mm-hmm. They're going to make money off of this. And it sucks, but it is what it is. It's not the consumer's fault. It's the person that's, behind the wheel of all this.
Yeah.
The guy up in Washington, D.C.
Well, the people that worship they worship the environment instead of the actual God that's up there. And
Exactly.
yeah. So that's what you see, man. It's been an ongoing thing too with the climate alarmist. But they'll still go by waterfront. It's supposed to be all the sea level rise, but you still go by Martha's Vineyard waterfront mansions.
Right.
Like the Obamas did.
Well, who knows? That island might be floating on top of the water, so it doesn't rise as much as it wants. So I don't just float with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, man, you think about, where we're at in timing wise too, towards the end of the year. I know you were doing a lot down in South Florida. What's the latest down there with the hurricane efforts?
Well, they've, of course, last time I was down there, they finally opened up Fort Myers Beach. And when I was in here talking about, actually, I think I was on the phone. We were live down there while I was down there watching everything. They finally got it cleaned up enough to where people could go and, take what they could find, which is left of their home.
Yeah.
What wasn't much. So they got all the roads cleared off. They've got almost all the electricity restored. Gas stations are open back up. There's some things that you'll notice where they've cleaned up most of the rubbish from the trees. They've got all that cleaned up, but there's still, there's like one stoplight hanging at a huge intersection,
Wow.
So they haven't got to that point, but at least they got cars in a civil manner stopping and going. When we were there, you have to respect everything as a four-way stop.
Four-way stop,
Well,
yeah.
that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Water's, running back again. The water has subsided a lot. So it's just, it's one of those things they're starting to put everything back together.
Yeah.
We've been down there. I started, just opened up an organization called rebuildfmy.com, the website. I haven't launched it yet. And that's through my organization, US Hwy Foundation, which I started a little over a year ago to help people from becoming homeless. So it's helping people that are coming out of prison. I said, well, let's do a spin on this. Let's help these people that have been devastated by Hurricane Ian to where they don't lose their home.
Right.
And so what the organization is doing, and I'll have it launched in about a week, that we are taking donations. And what we're going to do, what I did found out, just doing some recon down there, is a lot of the people couldn't afford the flood insurance. Well,
Right.
80% of the people that had loss was due to a flood or the tidal surge.
Yep.
So their insurance company will pay for their roof because that was blown off by the wind, had nothing to do with the flood. But what about their one-story homes or their first story?
Right.
They got damaged and they couldn't afford the flood insurance. So
Oh, man.
I'm going down. I've been down there 3 times already. We've looked at neighborhoods that are just completely destroyed. They couldn't afford the rider on their insurance for the storm surge. So we want to go in and say, hey, you don't have to condemn your home. So we want to be able to collect enough money to go down there, put up the drywall, put in some flooring, get their AC, because that was, of course, completely destroyed by the storm surge, and get them where they can live back in their homes and they don't have to live in the street.
Yeah,
so
that's
you're going
good.
to be expecting that out of me in a couple of weeks. We're just doing the finishing touches on rebuildfmy.com. And that's with my own organization, US Hwy Foundation.
Nice. Good stuff. Will Smith Aviation, Captain Will Smith here. We're taking a quick break. Coming back, I want to talk a little bit about the Federal Reserve, what's going on with the rate hikes, and also, how that's going to affect what the expected turn time is on that. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, USPS delivery man celebrates 70 years of delivering the mail. And more with Captain Will Smith here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey everybody, it's the Captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy Brandon Rhymes, a consumer quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. Any of our listeners out there, we'll offer you a 2% listing for the first 3 callers that reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. Call or text the hotline, 813-917-1894. Also, a great opportunity for folks out there looking for a part-time gig, maybe a side hustle, is Keller Williams Real Estate School, powered by Kaplan. Reach out if you'd like more information on how we have a free real estate school for you, online class, get licensed, and start referring business in, or maybe make a new career. 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com for our syndicated radio and TV show on 80 outlets worldwide, consumerqb.com, or our real estate website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com. QB.kw.com. And please follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram, Twitter, Getter, and check out our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty. Make it a great day. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. We help our sellers profit more and sell faster because we get a lot of exposure for our listings. Let's look at this property at 18735 Rogerland Road. This is in Spring Hill. It's in Pasco County, 18735 Rogerland Road. This is a great opportunity. It's completely renovated, rebuilt home, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, almost 1,700 square feet, acre of land, just over 1 acre of land. So you bring your boats and RVs and all types of tractors and equipment if you wanted to. 18735 Rogerland Road in Spring Hill. One of our hot real estate listings. There's also a mother-in-law suite, no HOA. Great opportunity to invest in real estate right here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
And we're going to be right back here with Captain Will Smith in just a moment. But I wanted to talk to you a little about these rate hikes that you've been seeing, the interest rates, how it's slowing the economy, it's slowing the real estate sector. What happens is it normally takes 12 to 18 months for the economy to kind of feel the impact of, the interest rate. Some argue, of course, a little bit less than that, 12 to 18 months. But the Federal Reserve's first hike was back in March of 2022. And what it means is that we're still feeling the impact of 0% interest rates and $6 trillion of stimulus money, all that printing of money that the fine folks in Washington, D.C. approved. So we really won't feel the impact of these rates increasing until Q1 or Q2 of next year, 2023. So the Fed just, they don't want to wait and see. So that to me, it's like, hey, stop raising the rates. Let us make some money in the real estate sector. Real estate drives so many other businesses, mortgage, title, homeowners insurance, all of the property cleanup and the property improvements, Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware. So they're pumping these rates, and I think they need to pump the brakes instead of pumping the rates. So they want to try to get inflation under control and to make sure it's not like a Jimmy Carter era in the 1970s. Another Democrat, by the way. So
that's where we're headed.
Captain Will Smith in the house, and by the way, the tech sector is getting hit hard. The tech sector getting hit hard. They're continuing to slash jobs. Major announcements. Amazon is cutting jobs from overexpansion during the pandemic. Meta, Google, of course, Facebook. Steep declines in advertising. People just don't have the money to put into advertising. Lyft, of course, rideshare, increasing operational costs and rising insurance prices, gas prices as well. And Elon Musk at Twitter, going in and doing an overhaul there at Twitter. So good thing. I love to see some of his tweets lately too. You see he's like, Hillary Clinton posted something. He's like, well, actually, you might want to read this article. He would retweet hers, put this other article there talking about, I forgot exactly what it was, but that's got to be the largest purchase and the most, not just largest, but the most important purchase of a private sector company in the history of the planet, basically reshaping a part of the major online town square.
Well, I mean, all the political people, Democrats and Republicans, they put all their eggs into Twitter because every time, and it's kind of funny because before Trump, nobody was doing tweets. He kind of introduced that whole thing when he came in as president, and the next thing you know, everybody's tweeting.
Oh, as far as
for the political side of it, and so that's where a lot of the people would get their information from, was from Twitter. Well, Musk is going in there and goes, you know what? We're going to level the field here. We're going to make this fair. There's not going to be censorship just because you don't agree with what the other party is going to say, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
and it's good because people like Hillary need to be put in their place.
Yeah,
people like Biden need to be put in their place. It's just it's getting ridiculous. The American people, of course, they're saying when they go to the pumps, when they buy food, and now just from your industry, purchasing a home.
Yeah.
So if you take something that was at 2.5%, 3% interest, and now it's at what, 6.5%, 7% now?
Yeah, 7.5%.
I mean, you're
sometimes
doubling that over a 30-year mortgage.
Your cost
how
is
much?
hurt.
Yeah. So how much is that house going to appreciate, along with how much more you're going to pay for? Due to interest rates. You're going to break even after 30 years? Is the house going to be worth more or worth less than you paid for it?
Yeah.
I mean, these things are just,
Well, something else I just learned on Steve Bannon's show. 2,000 Mules, right? Remember that movie that exposed all this illegal ballot harvesting and just pretty much showed how the election was allegedly influenced. I don't want to say the word that starts with an S.
I think it was influenced.
So here's what
I'll
happens.
use the S word all day long.
Here's what they did. The FBI arrested Katherine Engelbrecht, the girl the lady that started True the Vote, the company that bought the data, looked at all the meta tag data. Couldn't believe it. And she's being held in prison right now for creating a documentary, just like they did to Dinesh D'Souza. That's how corrupt our government is.
That's how communist our government is becoming.
Exactly. We're almost there. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. Really? So there's an informant, I guess, that they want her to give up, and they won't give it up. Wow. Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, it is
unbelievable.
Most people especially
don't hear
in
these
this
stories.
country. Well, yeah, and we're also dealing with all these millennials and kids that have already been mentally corrupt, and we didn't know what was going on in our schools until now.
Right.
And that's a whole nother conversation for another day about what's going on in our own school systems and how what they're doing to our kids.
Yep. The perfect example of that is the one in Virginia where they lied about it. The kid was a tranny, he went in there, raped a girl. Mm-hmm. They lied about it, covered it up, went to another school, did the same thing. He reoffended, and then the dad got arrested because he came in there and was upset.
Yeah, wanted to stick up. Yeah. For all these people.
That's what's happening with the
and that's I'm glad that my kids are grown, because if I was one of those parents, we would have this conversation and with bars in between us right now. Because I wouldn't put up with that.
I know it. We got about a final minute here. Captain Will Smith Aviation. How can you help folks out there?
Well, right now I'm just trying to help the people in Fort Myers. So if you guys, once we get it up and running, I'll come back in here, and the help that they need is staying in their homes and helping rebuild their home. So that's where we'll go from that point. You still, private travel still the safest and the fastest out there through commercial. But it's one day at a time. We'll slowly but surely regain our country.
Absolutely,
we will.
Yep. And are you doing any training now at all, or
I'm not?
Focused on
I'm not doing that. It's just the flights right now because I'm so busy because so many people are just flying around privately. I don't have time to dedicate myself for training. I'm doing a lot of mentoring because there's a huge need for pilots. If anybody, any parent or any young man or woman in their 20s not sure what they want to do with their career, get into aviation.
Yeah.
We need 38,000 pilots within the next 5 years.
Wow.
And there's just not enough out there. And I'm not kidding you. You'll make six figures out the door.
Well, if this whole real estate thing don't work out for me, I'll let you know.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right. So, hey, another good stuff. Captain Will Smith Aviation, Will Smith Aviation. Check him out online. Coming up, we have Clyde Smith, Bill Maher Beach Resort, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy coming up, plus our feel-good story of the day. We got this 70 years of delivering the mail. Find out about this cool story up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show.